Right, guys, so let's look at some drum-based instrumentation. This section is split into two. We've got drum-based rhythmic instrumentation, and then we've got the melodic instrumentation that comes after it. And following these explanations, there will be the next section of the forms on the incitement section on teams. Okay, so let's go through them in turn. Three main drums when we think about West African drumming. The one that you've probably seen more than anything else, and one that we have a lot in the department, is the djembe. So the djembe comes in all sorts of different sizes, but they are usually built in the same way. So the strings create tension on it's usually a goat skin or a lamb skin on the top. You pull the ropes in order to change the pitch of the drum. They're usually decorated in a very sort of ornate way and carved, etc. And they're always carved from one solid piece of tree trunk. So you can do it with a chainsaw actually, or even a sort of large machete. But it's hollow inside, which creates the resonance. But the whole drum is created from one. The whole drum is created from one solid piece of wood. Then you've got the dunno, which is sort of skinny in the middle and then fatter towards the edges. Again, it's a lamb or goat skin on top, and there's a curved stick that's used to play it. Now, with these strings that you can see, they're sort of separated from the drum head in comparison to the djembe. Now, you can sort of squeeze and relax those strings, and it will create a change in pitch. Dunduns are fairly similar. Again, there's a stick on one side, and you can play with the hand on the other. They come in all sorts of different shapes and sizes to dunduns, and they're played with this stick again, but it's not a curved stick. It tends to be a flat stick. So the djembe, dono, and dunduns. You find them in lots of countries in West Africa, but they're more closely aligned with Ghana, and really sort of popular in Ghana. Now these are three different types, and the kagan, the kiddy, and the sogo. Now the kagan is the largest one. The kiddy, the medium one, and the sogo is the highest pitched one. And again, they're made out of usually barrels. They sort of look like barrel drums. And again, the skin's tightened with rope or string on the side, so you can change the pitch of them. Not as you're playing them; it's too difficult. You'd have to sort of tune them before you play them. So the Kagan, Kiddy, and Sogo you do find in some parts of Ghana, but also in Benin and sometimes occasionally in Mali. You might find these, but it's important to remember that when the heritage of these drums goes back before there were sort of segregated countries as we know them on the African continent, so they're more closely aligned with tribes. And then this is the Subba. Now the Subba is a Senegalese drum. It looks quite a lot like a djembe in the sense that it's very ornate. It's often carved with really intricate patterns, sometimes telling stories or histories of particular clans or tribes. Like the Sogo and Kiddy, it's tightened with rope along the top with these sort of little hooks that go on it, and it's played both with a flat stick and with the hand. Now you can see it's quite big and it's very long, and it has this huge hollow section, and the Subba was used to send messages across vast distances, across several kilometers actually. They're very loud, and they would be able to tell people, sometimes it was a warning message that something was afoot, and perhaps there was an invasion, or it might be just to signal the end of the working day and that everyone needs to come home. So they're often often simple messages and often quite complex messages. And the master drummers would be able to change the pitch of them sort of by pushing and pulling their hands. So incredible dexterity. So the melodic instrumentation then is, we won't go into too much detail with that, but the main three that you need to consider, again, all these are from West Africa. The balafon, which is a bit like a xylophone. It has these wooden keys that you hit with mallets, and then underneath these are sort of, they're almost like coconut shells. They're like balls, and but they're hollow, and they help the wood resonate when you hit them. The imbira is otherwise known as a thumb piano. So all these metal sticks have a different pitch, and you pluck them with your fingers, and they create a very tinny metallic timbre. The kora is the closest thing that we would find in traditional West African instrumentation that would link to the guitar, or the sitar, even from Indian culture. So they're all very, very similar in their construction. You've got a long wooden neck with strings protruding from there. The thicker strings have a lower pitch, the thinner strings have a higher one. And then there's the bowl at the bottom, which is a bit like a guitar body. It just helps the sound resonate in that hollow section, and then the sound is able to escape out of the hole. Again, like the Spanish guitar, like the Portuguese guitar, like the Indian sitar, they're usually very beautifully decorated, and then the decoration might tell a story, or it might just give an insight into the player's sort of style, I suppose, for lack of a better word. But you can see that this gentleman holds the kora on his lap, and then plucks the strings facing him rather than a guitar, which is sort of pushed away from you. So incredible sound, and we're going to do some listening in the quiz after this. So that's all in terms of delivery. Let's move on to the assignment section on teams and do some work on that. Thanks. Bye.